Hello again, everybody. I'm Tim Galbraith. I'm here, as you know by now, on behalf of #Flint and All Points TV. You can check out either website. You should know the drill by now. Today, I'm joined by a couple of guests in studio, and we have another one that should be connecting with us on the phone in a minute. I'm absorbing a lot of information as pertaining to this very quickly, so you're actually going to be learning along with me as I delve into this topic. But there's some pretty exciting news that we might kind of have the inside track on here pertaining to filtration systems coming to Flint. So before we get into the specifics of that, I'll introduce our guest. To my left, we have Felix.
Hello.
He is the regional sales manager for Artesian
Water Technologies.
Okay, and on my right we have Dan, who's a sales exec in the region, I assume, for Artesian?
Yes, in the region. And everything we're going to be doing right now is for the Flint market.
Okay.
So I work with Artesian. I'm a sales rep in logistics and projecting with Felix.
Okay, great. And then we may be hearing from Reggie Davison, who is working with the Flint Restoration Group, who we'll get into a little bit here in a minute, how Artesian is connected with that group. So let's just start it like this, guys. Tell me why you're here today.
Well, basically what we've done is we've been approached by Flint Restoration Group in order to create or establish some type of filtration system for the situation going on in the Flint market. As we know, we've heard several stories about how lead and copper and other contaminants are hindering the water supply. Flint Artesian Water Technology has been in the Flint market for over 60 years.
And it's like a national.
Oh yeah, we've done contracts all over the United States.
Okay.
Like I said, once again, they've been in the Flint market for over 60 years. They started off originally in a softener business and then since have moved on to other things such as arsenic removal and lead and heavy metal removals.
Okay.
Artesian has developed a system that's called the Artesian HMR series. It's a backwashing heavy metal removal system, which is maintenance free. The HMR series removes heavy metals, turbidity, color, sediment, total suspended solids, chloramines, organics, THMs, and filters everything down to a 3 microns. So it's very safe. It's actually bottled water safe.
Okay.
Absolutely. And it's a whole house system, and it's at the point of entry, so it covers the whole entire house.
Right.
Okay.
And it's got the warranty on it.
Yeah, it's a great system.
Warranted.
I mean, Flint Restoration Group once again is seeking funding for from the state of Michigan.
Okay.
They are a nonprofit organization. Reggie Davison and his group, Olivia Jones, they're trying to actually solicit the state in order to receive funding, in order to put a free filter in every home in the city of Flint.
Okay.
And that's the project.
Right.
We want to take and fix this problem that Flint's having. I mean, as you've seen from Time Magazine, you've seen their Time on the main Time Magazine about the poisoning of the water of Flint.
Mm-hmm.
It's a major concern. I don't think everybody's scrambling around, so there's not a lot of educational things going on. Bits and pieces on the internet about exactly the problem with lead contamination in the house. And a lot of people really don't even understand how it happened. But if you look at it, there's lots of things. I mean, I haven't seen no educational letting people know that if you use a sleep apnea machine, and you're using city water, what's going to happen with that? You're vaporizing the lead and taking hot showers. I mean, we took a class on bloodborne pathogens and air pathogens, and what happens is when you're taking a steamy hot shower, of course, you're going to inhalate it. Well, that's going to cause a major problem. I have seen people in Genesee County, in this Flint area, that they're saying they're following it, but they're just not educated. They're like, yeah, we're still taking showers and we're still drinking. We're using this filter.
There's a lot of like confusing misinformation out there.
But it's pretty simple to figure it out. Lead is a dissolvent, and what happens is you can't smell it, you can't see it, and you can't taste it. Right. That's the bad thing about it. And see, what happens is it's coming through the water. And if you just sit down and think about all the things you use your water for, right down to doing your dishes, wiping the counter, boiling the water and stuff like that. I mean, this dissolvent can be vaporized, of course, Just like when you have lead paint in the house, and they don't want you sanded, you got to wear special contaminated breathing units and apparatuses to sand it down so you're not inhalating the lead.
Right.
It's very important. See, I just think that people need to be a little bit more educated with it, and I think that I know for a fact that this system, being a whole house system, will take care of that.
Now,
problem.
this is a newer system, right?
We had developed this system. We've used it as a 2-tank system in the past. We recently added the 1-tank system with a backwash system, which is, and let me explain a little bit about backwash. What backwash basically means is that the system runs itself through a filtration system all the way down to where it's getting into the 3 microns of fresh, clean water.
Okay.
It then forces it up. You don't lose any PSI pressure.
No.
You don't lose anything as far as what it's basically doing is filtering and cleaning the water. Now the backwash will happen every 6 to 7 days. It's equivalent to taking a 15-minute shower. It's not a lot of runoff. It's basically maybe half a unit of water. But what it does is kind of it filters the system and puts it right back to where it needs to be.
It brings its vitality back.
You don't have to do it. It's automatically done.
It does it all. And they'll do it late at like probably 4 in the morning.
So is it the backwash that's like the newer element to this technology?
I think that backwashing systems have been around for a long time as far as pools and that nature, and people kind of understand it. When you have a pool and they backwash, you're basically cleaning all the sediments.
What
out.
backwashing does is it just revitalizes the sediment so it doesn't compact itself down and it doesn't filter as good. But that's not the technology that removes the lead. That's just keeping it for a longer duration of time.
Okay.
So there's several different medias in the filter that actually attack each problem at a different level.
Right.
You see, when you're dealing with water, you're dealing with a spinning wheel. It changes constantly. There's at different times of the day. There's different levels of contamination in the line. For instance, when it's high usage, there's low, and then so we understand that. And so because the filter is just basically in the home, it's just working and producing clean water. Its only job is to do is produce and clean water. Now the great news that these systems are warranted for 5 years.
Yes.
Okay, they're warranted for 5 years, and the company stands behind that. Like I said, they've been in business for 60 years. We're trying to bring the best we can for Flint and the world, because there's other areas of the United States and stuff that are suffering.
Right.
So this is something new and exciting.
And the good thing about it is I know a lot of people are putting closed systems of reverse osmosis. Well, they don't backwash. And another thing about them is the waste. It takes like 4 gallons to 5 gallons of water to equivalent to make 1 gallon. We all know in the city of Flint, you're paying a bill.
Yeah.
There's no way that you're going to want to take and lose 4 gallons for every 1 gallon.
Yeah, wow.
You're just going to not want to do it. Plus, I'm not saying nothing bad about reverse osmosis. It has its place. But that's not something that you want to majorly consume every single day because it removes a lot of stuff.
So we have this new product and we have increased efficiency over what's already on the market, right?
Oh,
We
yes.
have that.
Yes.
by
And
far.
then we would also, let's get into a little bit, and I think we touched on it some, if not on camera, then off. Besides lead, what are we actually getting out of the water that we don't want in it?
Well, recently, Dan brought to my attention some news articles pertaining to chloroforms and very high bacteria located in the bath water.
Right.
Yes.
Well, our filters are developed and designed to filter out up to 450 known bacterias. We have there's different types of filters on the market. The RO filters, which we were talking about. I mean, we carry every kind of filter available, but we're believing that this system is the best for the Flint market because it'll do a lot of things.
And all markets.
And remember what we're talking about here. There are filters being given out for free every day, but those filters only handle one faucet. At one faucet at a time. Those filters do work.
And I think the number I heard is up to 150
Only
parts per
150.
billion. Now, what will this guy?
Well,
here
our testings have been in the areas of a few hundred parts per billion. We have fluctuations of. Recently, we just did a lab test through Brighton Laboratories, and we had a 65 part per billion on the lead and 264 parts per billion on the copper, and we came in at zero detect.
I did see that.
There's zero detect. Now, that's important because, for one, that system's been in place for 3 or 4 months now. The other system we just recently got back, which was in the Franklin Street area here on the east side, and that system came back after 6 months of usage. In other words, 6 months of working every single day to filter every gallon of water going through the house. That also came in that was initially at a very high level of over 100 parts per billion on the lead and over 200 parts per billion on the copper. And that came in at a 1 detect. Now, what I mean by 1 detect, what basically that means is the EPA allows up to 15 parts. Okay? Mm-hmm. So as long as you're under the 15 number, you're good. You're golden, technically. Right. We don't want any contaminations at all. Right. But once again, there's nothing more than that day. We made it. We probably caught that test right before a backwash. Mm-hmm. Okay. So I mean, that's basically what happens there. But the reality of it is that, like I said, the spinning wheel, it changes daily. But the good news is that the system does work. It has been tested on several different homes. We've been at it, trying to get at it for over 6 months now. Mm-hmm. And I believe that we're probably one of the only companies that's basically testing our product in the Flint market. That's fantastic. And that's why Flint Restoration Group has chosen us over 15 different companies. They said we've studied and looked at 15 different companies. We've done our homework. We find that Artesian Water Technologies has a great system here with the HMR.
You talked about being in the Flint market for 60 years. Can you tell me a little bit more about the history that Artesian has with Flint and how it got into the market?
Well, Artesian Water Technologies was originally located on Dort Highway, South Dort Highway. They handled salt softeners and filters back in the early 50s and 60s. Did several jobs with General Motors. We have systems in Hurley Hospital. We have systems all over Michigan and all over the Flint area. Yes. Now, Mike Fortek is the president and CEO of Artesian Water Technologies. He's a very, very smart water engineer. Yes. Okay. He has several very intelligent men working underneath him as well. They do nothing but research and try to develop the best product, because in the end result, they have a reputation to maintain. And he says, I won't do anything that will hinder or hurt my client. I've been in the area. I'm concerned. I lived in the area. I have friends and relatives that live in the area. So I'm not going to put a product out that's going to hurt anyone in any way. I've dealt with them 15 years ago. He put a water filtration system in my home. And at that time I had well water, and I'll tell you what, it went from, these operate so quickly that within 15 to 20 seconds of installation, once it purges out, you're good. The water goes from a foul smelling, chlorinated, whatever, sulfuric smell water.
Was so bad you couldn't even want
to like instantly clean. I remember quite honestly a couple of times of turning it off and forgetting that turning it off for one reason or another and taking a drink of the water and going, oh my goodness, I can't believe it. And you could tell such a huge difference. And people that have softeners and have relatives, they've been up north, they've been to other places. Right. They know what water tastes like when it doesn't have treatment.
Right.
Okay, so that's our main goal, is to bring safe drinking water back to Flint, and bathing water. See, we keep talking about drinking water, but remember, the bathing, the cooking, these are the things that you're putting your children in. You want to be able to have the best.
Mm-hmm. Me, myself, I have a self-contained shower unit that I build at home. I don't touch the water. The unit is all self-contained, and it's an electric motor, and I bring water in to my house. Okay. I have storage units in my house for the water. I live in the city of Flint. Actually, I live just a few blocks from here.
Okay. Did you have your water tested ever?
I actually didn't. All around, the neighbors have done their testing and stuff, and I seen my neighbor on the corner was 2 parts per billion, but we had some hot ones around me that were over 300 parts per billion. As soon as I found out they were connected to the Flint City River, I knew automatically right away. I was like, I'm not touching the water. And I've always drank like filtered water, and I drink water like what the well system has to offer. I drink alkalinized water. That's my main form of water. A lot of people don't understand about water, the acidity of water. It does not hydrate your system. It can also cause joint pains and whatnot. It can do all kinds of things. You need a higher pH water and alkalinized water, which are the trace minerals and stuff. See, that's what happens with reverse osmosis. It takes a lot of the nutrients out of the water, which it doesn't give it back to your body, which you need it to hydrate your system. Okay. So when I found out the problem, right away I quit, and I said, that's it. I don't give my children a bath or anything in the water whatsoever, because, like I said, just bathing in it, you never know how many parts per billion it might come in from day to day. You just don't know. So these systems will eliminate the worry of that problem right there.
Now, I know that the restoration group is working on getting funding.
Yes.
But in the meantime, are these available to somebody who wants to come out of pocket, like today?
Absolutely, they are available. And the system came in, we had them at $24.99, but we went ahead and we worked as the best we could. We dropped it off $1,000 for the Flint residents, so they can get the system, and they don't have to wait if they don't want to. We're trying to get this to where these systems are free for every single individual home, because we understand that the area is a little, financially strapped a lot of, in Flint. And so we work the best we can, and we'll continue to work as best we can to fix, to adjust those prices. But we got them right now at $14.99.99. That's installed and everything.
Installed.
Yes.
How long does the installation process last?
It's about 45 minutes. It takes them to come in.
That's right.
And they'll install it. Everything will be point of entry.
And that's a quote for an individual home, but you guys also have these available to businesses.
Yes, we do. We have businesses, and
Let me step on that. Let me just talk about that for one real quick second about businesses. Commercial accounts, Artesian Water Technologies handles the commercial accounts. Flint Restoration Group is handling the residential accounts.
Okay. Yes.
There are several different things that Artesian does for commercial. For instance, we have several restaurants that we're using our system right now. As a matter of fact, they're being installed as we speak.
Okay.
The great news is that it's filtering all their water. These medias that we use are NSF approved. They're filters. We're also placing filters on their pop machines and also on their ice machines to try to even enhance it even further, to bring it so that there's no possible way that any kind of contamination is coming into the food that they're serving their clients. We also offer a bottleless water system, which is the Wells's WS1100. And that system we've been putting in different doctors' offices, churches, things of that nature. And what that is a hot and cold water system. It creates an alkaline water base. It's basically the problem that people have is they're storing all this water. These businesses are carrying water in. This is a bottleless water system,
right.
And it's super high technology as far as it does microprocessing,
space age technology,
cleaners, healthier water, pH balance, nutrient boost,
automatic hot water,
antioxidant, and I mean. Alkalinized water there's been research on that.
It's a great.
And we
I've been
also
hearing about it more.
Yeah, it's basically you could drink water, and Dan's talked about this about bottled water. Have the acidicness in bottled water after it's sitting. Dan.
Well, the tap water comes in. I've always tested it anyway. It comes in right about 5.6. Close to 6 on your tap water, and it's highly chlorinated. Yeah, the pH. So what happens is the higher the pH level, you'll notice when you're getting more closer to like the alkalinized water, you'll get the higher pH level. Okay. You'll get up between 7 and 8, but there's levels of alkalinity. There's level 1, level 2. I'm at level 4 right now that I use, and I'll continue to go up because you take it easy. It's good. It's okay for your system. It won't harm it. It'll just cleanse you. But it's for your absorption. A lot of people don't understand. It causes everything from obesity when you don't drink the proper water, joint pains, all kinds of pains. It can even cause so much as far as in your health. Like at a cellular level,
It's crazy because people, I think, just assume if they're drinking water, they're ahead of the game, right? As long as I'm ingesting water, it's got to be good, right? This situation in Flint has shown us that's not true, just in terms of you never know what's lurking in there as far as contaminants. But beyond that, this whole idea of alkalinization is, I think, something that people are just learning about how important it is.
It's incredible because if you see smart water, like the bottled smart water, and then you read the glacier waters and stuff like that, they're enhanced. what they do is they put the enhancement back in. Well, this system right here also does the same thing. It adds all kinds of things. It's like space age technology. It's an incredible water. It's one of the purest form waters, the best water that is pretty much known to man.
It uses a 9-stage processor, and it also has 7 stages of processing, which increases your nutrient boost, your hydration. It sanitizes, antioxidant, immune support, and alkaline activated water. And one more thing, it also has a FIR, F-I-R, which stands for infrared. Right, well, that also does more as far as cleansing the water that's sitting.
Yes.
This system, for instance, that we're talking is the Wellsys WS1100, available through Artesian Technologies. This system is a hot and cold surplus system. It works with 2 gallons of cold and a gallon and a half of hot immediately. This is something that people are putting in place of water fountains.
Oh, okay.
That's the thing. We're hoping that we get funded through the state to be able to put one of these in every school system, replacing the water fountains and actually taking people and listen, be smart, be healthy, be green. We all know that these bottles that we're putting out is creating nothing but it's going to create contamination.
Right.
That all those plastic bottles.
Yeah.
So
Especially
this is a great system available now for bottleless water.
And they don't have to store all that bottle. They don't have to have shipments coming. And the good thing about this right here is that they don't have to pay for this outright. We formulated to where they can just sign an agreement with us and pay a monthly installation, like a lease to it.
Okay.
And it's
for business. It's for businesses and commercial companies.
But it's fully equipped, fully maintenance.
Okay.
We do all that, include with the price.
Okay.
Right.
And they can just lease it, and it's a very low price, monthly price.
All right, guys. Well, we're gonna wrap it up. I appreciate you coming in. There's obviously a war being waged against water in Flint on multiple fronts, and it's good to see Artesian has.
We have a website. If I can be so
absolutely.
kind to place the website.
Yeah.
It's www.artesianinc.com, and that is also. Dan has a website.
We have a. If you'd like to email us, you can email us at removethelead@gmail.com. That's
Okay.
all one word, removethelead@gmail.com. And if they want to contact us, they can contact us. My name is Dan. It's 810-308-4706.
And I also want to make sure that we mention Flint Restoration Group, who's actually calling in right now, and invite them to go to their Facebook page. It's Flint
And you can
Restoration
contact
Group.
us also.
Okay. Well, it looks like probably next time we'll talk to Reggie because we might have some exciting announcements coming next week.
Oh, yes.
Yes. Oh, absolutely.
So we'll get with Reggie, who's part of the Flint Restoration Group, and he's got a very big role to play in this, right?
Yes, he does.
absolutely.
Reggie Davison and Olivia Jones.
Okay.
We're excited to talk to them.
So we have now we have a background on the product and the new technology coming to help everybody, and then there's a whole other element that we'll get into next week that I think people will find even more exciting.
Yes, part 2 coming soon.
All right.
Thank you
guys.
so
Thank
much.
you very much for coming in.
Absolutely.
Thank
All right,
you.
thank you.
Take care. Yeah.
All right.